Okay, all right. Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Claire Kessler. I am your professor for this fall for VITI 303, which is our viticulture class. It's a special focus on the vineyard and everything that happens from harvest to dormancy. So I'm just sending out this video as a welcome, a hello, introductory, going over the syllabus and our online class situation. So let's go ahead and get started. So I would like to talk about the viticulture program today and then just like the big important things for class. So about the viticulture program, VITI is short for viticulture and enology. Viticulture is the focus on the vineyard aspect, enology is the winemaking, but we also do much more than that. We do wine hospitality, food and wine pairing classes. We also do a number of wine tasting classes. We have Wines of the World happening right now this fall. It's online. We also offer Wines of California, Wines of the Sierra Foothills, and Wines of the World. Yes, and then the hospitality course. So we're adding more as we go. We do offer an Associates of Science degree and a certificate. If you're interested, I do have that linked here in the program map. And there's lots of benefits. I mean, California is surrounded by wine industry, so there's lots of opportunity for you to find your niche if you're interested. There's lots of potential work out there as well. So depending on what type of background you have or what you're interested in, there's really something for everyone. There's vineyard work, winemaking, hospitality. If you wanted to become a sommelier, you could take these courses to prepare you for those exams. And much more, right? So, and even on a broader sense, you also have opportunities for continuing education. You could go forth towards food science in general, go towards research, fermentation science, brewing, if you like beer, kombucha, tea, coffee, spirits, and so much more. So oftentimes I feel like when we take like chemistry or biology courses, or just STEM courses in general, we forget how expansive your possibilities could be, right? Because like chemistry, biology, these are such broad subjects, and sometimes we as instructors forget to provide you with like the actual jobs that are tied to these subjects. So this is one outlet that could be explored if you are a STEM student, and just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So that's our program. Onwards to the class. So if you have not taken any courses in a long time with the community college or just in general, all these courses are through the Canvas website. So I do have it linked to this slide here. If you're going to do it from your computer just on your own, you could type in Los Rios single sign-on, and then you can access your login, but you'll have access to this link as well. So you have this link for the website. There's also a student app for your phone. It is helpful, but it's not as easy to navigate as the website is, so I'd recommend using both. But it's just nice that you have an option. We also have the link for the syllabus and class schedule here, along with the Discord server and campus Wi-Fi. So let's go ahead and open up Canvas. So when you go onto Canvas, I'll just sign out here. It'll look. When you do Los Rios single sign-on, or you're trying to sign into Canvas, it'll bring up a page that looks a lot like this, right? So to sign in, you'll have to use W plus your student ID number, and then the password that you used when you enrolled for this class as a student through e-services, right? It should pull up like a menu of all of the apps available to you as a student. It might look different than this for you. The one thing that we're focused on is this Canvas icon right here. That's where all of our courses will be listed. So once it signs in, every course that you are enrolled in should be up on your dashboard, is what it's called, right? Then we have this navigation pane on the left. Give your dashboard, courses. This could be where like older courses are listed, right? So you have like all courses you could go and explore. You have your calendar. You have your inbox. This is where you could send your instructors messages, or they could also send you messages, reach out. So you have this option as well as your email that you could find us, right? And then we are right here, VITI 303, Harvest to Dormancy. There's our class tile. Go ahead and open that up. Voila. And here we are. So this is our home page. This is where we just have like a general, welcome to the class statement. Is a little bit about me. Some important links again for the class I just posted everywhere. Then we have a couple of different sections here to look at. So let's just do the student view. So on the home page, you will see one or two of the most recent announcements. This is like if we have a cool tour coming up or a guest speaker, if there's something important I need to announce to everyone, that's where I'll post that. If you need to see older announcements, you have to go to the announcements section and it'll pull up all the announcements ever posted. Then we have a link to, or a page to the syllabus. Our syllabus is live. It's always going to be supplied on a link for the most part because it's subject to change during the semester just depending on what's going on, right? So we'll go over that in just a moment. But first I want to show you the module system. So for this class, if you've taken some of my other classes, this is new. I'm doing this year just to see how it goes, to see if it's better for navigation for students. But I'm outlining everything we're doing every week in a module. So week 1, we have lecture materials and lab. So everything that you need for the week as far as like materials or links or assignments that you need to do will be in the module, right? So for our lecture materials, I will upload the slides that I just presented on, but I also have links for you, and I'll also upload this video as well. So that will be something for you to look at for week 1. And then your lab requirement would be to sign the lab waiver. And if I want us to do something else the first week for lab, I'll post it under there as well. So if you are confused or concerned about what you need to do for the week, I'll have this all published by Monday morning, and you can log in, you can see exactly what we need to do, and you can be ready to go for the week, right? Any assignments will also be in here as well. Cool. Files, lecture materials, all those fun things. And it'll become more intuitive as we go, for sure. Okay, so that's a little bit about Canvas. Next, I would like to show you guys the syllabus and go over the class schedule. So this is 303, Harvest to Dormancy. Make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so August 24th to December 19th, it's a full semester. Mondays are online and Wednesdays are in person from 6:30 to 9:35 in A105. It'll hardly ever run that late. Our labs generally end around 8:30-ish for your information. I do have an office at the Eldorado Center. If you need to schedule office hours, just let me know. And then you have my email as well right here in case you need to contact me. The student learning outcomes for our class are as follows. These are the overall, what we hope you can take away at the end of this course. So you'll be able to describe and demonstrate the theory and practices of vineyard management post-harvest through dormancy. Describe and demonstrate post-harvest practices for irrigation, fertilization, cover crop planting, and pre-pruning. Explain how to evaluate and effectively control common vineyard pests and diseases for the fall and winter seasons. Describe and demonstrate proper planting techniques for new vines and grafting techniques for established rootstock. So those are kind of the broader statements of what we'll be covering throughout the course of this semester. Then I have a link to our class schedule. We'll just go ahead and open that up. So our class schedule will be extremely variable. It depends on when grapes come in, what guest speakers are coming when. So this is definitely subject to change, right? If you would like to see like a rough idea of what we're going to be doing throughout the semester, you can pull this up anytime. I will update it as we go, as I know what's going on, and then you can reference that. But just logging on and checking the modules should be enough information for you guys to get through the week, for sure. Okay, awesome. So that was our schedule. For our class layout, as we showed you on Canvas, it's going to be in modules. So every week is organized in a module to have all the materials that you need, lecture content, slides, lab packets, etc. To familiarize yourself. It will be your guys' responsibility to print any worksheets that are needed for lab time or for class time. So, and I will make that very obvious for you guys when we post those, right? So we have that. So yeah, Mondays are lectures, and I'll be posting any like materials that you'll need for that. There is always going to be a recorded lecture on YouTube on Mondays. I'll post the link on your module, and so you can watch the video and then essentially take the quiz. Those are the two things you're going to want to do on Mondays. Wednesdays will be labs. Make sure you print out the worksheet for it. Come to class prepared with that. And then also make sure you are wearing appropriate clothing for labs. So now that we have our student demonstration vineyard, it's very exciting. We're going to make sure that you wear proper footwear and clothing outside. So closed-toed shoes, and then any clothes that you don't mind getting dirty, really, is the big one. We will have the opportunity most likely to go on tours and have guest speakers. So I'll give you advance notice for that. The tours will not be required because they will most likely be outside of class time. If they are outside of class time, definitely not required. If it is during class time, it might be required. So I'll make sure to give you plenty of notice. We normally don't travel very far for tours, and it's normally within the area close by the college. Yeah. Textbooks. So I highly recommend you purchase this Grape Grower's Handbook by Ted Goldammer. It is a wonderful guide to everything viticulture. We will, if you decide that you want to continue taking courses in this program, this is the one textbook that goes through all the viticulture classes. Ted Goldammer also did a wine production textbook, and we're going to be using that for our winemaking classes. So if you buy those two textbooks, you have everything you need to really know about viticulture and enology, which is really nice. And they're under $100. Like, let's see where it's at right now. I think it's actually on sale. So $92.95, so just under $100. I know it is expensive. I believe we have copies of this in the library if you need to check it out or borrow it. But it's a wonderful textbook. You aren't going to be assigned anything that is straight out of the textbook. I will provide all information for you to take quizzes and be successful in this class. So if buying the textbook is going to be a financial burden for you, you'll be okay if you don't purchase it. Yeah, you'll be just fine. Our grading scale is just the standard scale, so nothing crazy about that. Here's kind of the grading breakdown of the class. So you'll have 4 exams. And what we'll do is we will drop the lowest score. So in the event that, you forget that we have an exam, you miss an exam, or you have some situation, or you just had a bad day and you just didn't do very well, that score will be dropped, and we'll keep the 3 highest scores as your grade, which will be nice. A lot of our content will also be quizzes and labs. We might have 1 research paper and 1 poster assignment, and I will give you plenty of notice for that and give you guys a rubric and even examples of what that looks like when we get there. Then we have important dates for fall 2025. I have a link to the academic calendar. This is important if you need to drop the class for whatever reason, you want a refund, or if you're trying to drop in time so you don't get a bad mark on your grades, then that would be something to pay attention to for sure. Cool. Then we have communication. So you can communicate with me through email or through Canvas, but we have a really nice close-knit community of students in this program on our Discord group, and I have an invite link here. It's a really nice way to keep in touch with everyone, but in addition to that, this is what it looks like. We also have info on like internships and jobs, scholarships, wine tasting groups. So students are allowed to communicate, get together, and then go wine tasting together outside of class, of course. Ask each other questions. We also have channels specifically for our class. So we have VITI 303 chat right here, and these are some of the questions and comments and brainstorming we had last year in this class. So if you post in here, it kind of just adds to the text chain. And we have this for all of our courses. So it's a really nice way to stay in contact and also ask questions, especially like if you have your own vineyard or you make your own wine, or you're just new to all of it in general and you want to expose yourself to like what other people are going through and how they're solving it. It's a wonderful resource. Also, when we do like wine tastings, like currently we have the Wines of the World class going on right now. Sometimes there's extra spots for people to come and taste, and we don't like to waste wine, right? So I will oftentimes come onto Discord and open it up to any other student in the program and be like, hey, we have open seats for this Friday. We're tasting, wines of Italy. If you'd like to come, RSVP here. It maxes out at 20 people, so that's an option, an incentive as well. Cool. So that's Discord. And then next we just have the student code of conduct and then important links, right? Which I posted everywhere. So student code of conduct is just make sure that you act within the bounds of that, but it's a double-sided coin, right? It's protecting you and protecting other people, safety and sanity and all those things, but it's also your rights as a student as well. So there's the link to that if you would like to see exactly what that is, right? Awesome. Okay, so that's the syllabus. And we went over Discord. Wonderful. And then I just have a link for logging into campus Wi-Fi. When you do come onto campus, if you need to use your cell phone, I don't have any service at the El Dorado Center, so I always recommend people connect to Wi-Fi just in the event that you get a really important phone call or heaven forbid it's an emergency and someone needs to contact you. It is a little difficult getting onto the Wi-Fi at first, but once you're in, which is good. So at least hopefully you can get a phone call through Wi-Fi if it is an emergency. So I do advocate for that. So the instructions for that are here. It differs if you have an Apple product or an Android, or if you're using a MacBook or whatever. So there's instructions laid out for you guys there. And then once you come onto campus, you can follow that and get your devices connected. Awesome. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will also be on campus the first week of class in case anyone didn't get the memo and they didn't know that we were online on Mondays, and I'll be available to go over this information. I'll also be open to start the beginning of class Wednesday, our Wednesday night, to answer any questions or just kind of go over this again if people need it. So hopefully it'll start to make sense and come together. Hopefully that wasn't too overwhelming. But otherwise, I look forward to see you guys very soon.